Hi YouTube, this is Princess Cinema with my first YouTube video. I'm gonna try to do different YouTube videos. This is just kind of a test run. So to start, I want to do a series on the Star Wars prequels, the films that George Lucas decided that one take per scene was just good enough. To begin, I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong. I love it. I've always loved it. I don't want to upset any Star Wars fans because I know that always seems to happen, and if you say anything bad about Star Wars, all the fans attack you and they're like, oh my god, you can't say that because it's Star Wars. But you have to admit that there are some issues with the series, prequels specifically. I mean, there's corny lines and weird unnecessary things that happen in all of the films. No, just stop. There's a huge part of me that wants the prequels to be cool. But I rewatched them recently and I cannot help but poke fun. Today I'd like to discuss The Phantom Menace, Episode 1, where they decided to introduce some of the most annoying characters ever in the Star Wars universe.
Missa called Jar Jar Binks. Missa, your humble servant.
That won't be necessary.
Jar Jar Binks surfaces as literally the worst Star Wars character in existence.
Huh?
And I just have to say to the internet rumor that Jar Jar Binks is somehow a Sith Lord, no. Remember that part where he's walking on Tatooine and he steps in a pile of poop? He actually steps in poop. Even if he's pretending to be stupid, he steps in poop. We all wish that Qui-Gon just didn't save his life or just let him leave from the life debt. But unfortunately that doesn't happen. We have to deal with his annoying comments throughout the whole thing. I find the first interaction with Jar Jar to be kind of strange. They're trying to escape the invasion of Naboo, and he's like, oh, I'm banished from this place, let's go there.
The safest place would be Gonga City. It's where I grew up. 'Tis a hidden city.
City.
Uh-huh.
Can you take us there?
On second thought, no. Not really, no.
I'm not sure why he even suggests it, why he doesn't just pretend that he doesn't know where to go, because it doesn't really make sense that someone would be like, oh, hey, this place I'm banished from, let's go there. I guess that for the dumbest Star Wars character, though, that's kind of expected. Anyway, young Anakin is in second for most annoying character.
Now this is pod racing.
We know that Anakin's crushing on Padme, but she doesn't really seem to return the feelings in this one, because that would be really weird if a 14-year-old was crushing on a 9-year-old. Creepy.
Are you an angel? What?
Third most annoying are the battle droids. Uh-oh. They appear to have the worst aim ever. I don't even know if they hit anything in any of the movies, except for walls and, random things. No one ever gets hit by them. Or, not that I'm aware of, not that I, noticed. I also think that when they were created, they were put on, the lowest intelligence setting.
That doesn't compute. Wait, you're under arrest.
It's everything that anyone says to them, they're, confused or, don't understand. And then they get their heads chopped off. So, the bad guy in the movie is Darth Maul, which everyone knows, even though he has less than probably 10 minutes of screen time throughout the entire thing. He dies an extremely uneventful death after the lightsaber fight, that he's cut in half. And then when he's falling down the pit, he, bangs off the side, and then his, body splits in half, and you see it, falling. And I'm kind of like, wow, this is really gruesome for a movie that's, clearly aimed at children. Otherwise, why would Jar Jar be in it at all?
Don't do that again.
So I'm not really sure why they decided to be so, violently gross for his death, even though, most deaths by lightsaber are, they get stabbed in the stomach and then they're just like, well. I remember when the movie came out, everyone thought that the double lightsaber was the coolest thing ever. But I just think that it's impractical. Like, how easy could it be to chop off your own arm? Like, how do you learn how to use that without accidentally chopping off a limb? My other huge question is, what's up with the horns coming out of his head? Like, what is Darth Maul? Like, I guess I could probably just, like, Google this and find out the answer really easily, but I'm just much more fascinated with just, like, wondering who this is and why we're not introduced to, like, where he comes from or why we never see any other characters that look like him. I think it would be really cool if they made like a prequel to the prequel that's like about baby Darth Maul and like why he became a Sith and like where he's from, but that's probably not going to happen. So I guess my least favorite part of the prequels, aside from the bad acting, is all of the political mumbo jumbo that like I don't understand and never can follow. I'm not even entirely sure it's necessary, but I mean, I guess it gives backstory, but like I've seen these movies so many times and I still don't really understand what's going on politically in this world. I really could do without the fishbowl Senate meetings. I kind of glaze over when they're happening. I'm like, oh, more political stuff that I don't understand because they're saying all these things that I don't even know what they are. Except I like the group of little ETs that are in the audience at the Senate. I say just more lightsaber battles. On a good note, I have to say that the sound design is really cool. The pod racing scene is definitely one of the coolest scenes in this movie. If you listen to Saboba's pod racer, that is the best sound in the whole movie. I think I've touched on the basics of my issues with the film. I still have fun watching it, and I still love Star Wars, even if I cringe every 5 minutes for this movie. So, until next time.